Hey everyone, I'm LS11 Soldier and this is a King Arthur video, and today I'm going to talk about some of the new things in game, mainly the new game content of Hall of Conquerors, and go through a little bit of detail about that. But before I do, I'd just like to give a massive shout out and a big thank you to Susie Plays, or Ivy League Gaming you may know her as, who actually took an hour and a bit of her time out of her busy schedule and video called me to help me fix what was wrong with my previous videos in regards to my camera and also my microphone. And I know that my camera looks a million times better. I think my camera sounds better. So thank you, Susie. You're an absolute star. But like I say, guys, Hall of Conquerors. So, Hall of Conquerors, as you can see, I've done one already. I am going to reset that because you can. So I can do them all with you for this video. Obviously, I may cut bits out and show or fast forward bits or things like that, just so that it doesn't make the video an hour long. But yeah, we'll start with, I think, Hrungnir. And the reason for that is, as you can see here, you've got applied hero effects. Now, what that applied hero effects is it's a boost for that dungeon. And for this one, and I think it'll more than likely change seasonally, which your season is 7 days. So obviously you can see I'm a little bit behind. Obviously, because of my camera issues and things, I didn't do a video yesterday. But, yeah. So, basically, you grant all Serpent's Favour allies attack increase plus 20% for 2 turns. So, that obviously would mean you'd want to put yourself a full team of Serpent out. But if not, and you want to do it a different way, obviously make sure that your damage dealers are Serpent. Now, I'm lucky enough to have Eweret and Claricin. Unfortunately, my Claricin, I will show you, isn't very well built at the moment. I've only just started using her for this. She's still in 4-star blue gear here. She's got a couple of 6-star pieces here, but I haven't had a chance yet to farm the crit rate. But yeah, so with her, then obviously Eweret, who does have pretty good gear on her, to be fair. And yeah, so we've got 6-star and 5-star, 5-star across the board, apart from 1 piece there and a 4-star piece there. Got a full set of Strife on her, which once again isn't the best quality, but I've only just got her recently, so I haven't once again had a chance to farm all the pieces I want. And we also have her in the Frost Relic, as I once again haven't even summoned her Flame Relic, so let's get that done now. We can start working on that later. So yeah, and then Morgan. Now, to be honest, Morgan, she doesn't have much effect here. She can't decrease the boss's attack gauge, but she has got the block buffs on her A3. Sorry, not block buffs, block heal on her A3 if you decide to use that. I personally don't. And then we have Nika, once again, new champion, not fully leveled or even fully ascended yet, fully skilled out or booked. But she does have some decent gear on her. We have 4 pieces of Vigor, obviously, because we want her to be going as many times as possible. 2 pieces of health, because we want her to have that big health so that she heals your other champions for more. And I will be having her in an immortal set once I've got the final piece. And that means me unlocking this section here. So that's something, once again, I'm working on. And she's in her Frost Relic. So yeah, there you go, guys. Oh, no, sorry, she's in her flame relic. So there you go, guys. That's my team. Now, one of the other new things I've brought out into game is detailed settings. Now, you can change your settings so that your champions do different attacks. Now, say for example, if you're using a champion whose A3 places a buff or a debuff for 2 turns, but with the old way, you could only set it so it was prioritize that skill. So then you were having to use it every turn, although the buff was only working every other turn, which was wasting vigor. So this now, where you can set it up to do that, this is for another. In fact, I'll take this off for now. That's actually for another, somewhere else I use her. But yeah, so you could have her A2, then her A1, A2, or A3, A1, A3, A1. So you're not wasting that vigor that you don't need to waste. Now, what I've also done with Nika is the same thing. Oh, sorry. With the detail settings for Nika, is the buff for 2 turns, then the attacks all enemies, the buff for 2 turns, attacks all enemies, buff for 2 turns. Yeah, so there you go, guys. So we're going to give it a run. Like I say, I have tested this, so I do know roughly what the output's going to be, but let's give it a go. So as you can see, guys, the boss is here. He has his buffs on, and you have yours, and there's your increased attack, wherever it's just gone. It's gone off now. And as you can see over here, you have a turn count. Now, basically, the aim of these dungeons is to do as much damage as you can in 200 turns, or until you die. Now, as you can see here, the boss has got 99 lives, or 98 lives, I think he started with. And every time you kill him, he loses a life. And the higher the more times you kill him, obviously, the better score you'll get. And you can see as you get to a certain amount of kills, that will start to change. Now, in this bit here, he raises the axe in the air. And from what I've understood, you've got to damage him a certain amount of damage to stop him doing a charged attack. When he does that charge attack, he will pretty much wipe out your whole team. So I had a lot of issues when I first started testing this, of my team getting wiped because I wasn't doing the damage. So then obviously I had to fiddle about with things to make sure that we're doing enough damage for that to work out. And as you can see, there you go. Because we've now destroyed 11, we're up to a grade C. And the guys, everyone's hitting pretty... Oh, and there's the axe up again. Hopefully we'll do enough damage now to stop him from doing that attack, which I believe with the Weret and Clarisin, even as not fully leveled yet, they will be able to do it. And Morgan, oh no, so there you go. As you can see, you take that big hit and that's where you get wiped. So then that score goes into this box here. Now, as you can see, you can reset your scores. You don't have to reset them. You can just play it again. And if you get a better score, it'll improve. But there you go. Now, the next one we're going to do is going to be Penvade, Steel Flanked Penvade. Now, as you can see with the Steel Flanked Penvade, now he's got no buffs applied on him on this one. That was only on the other one, but it does have this buff here, which is basically to use stag champions. Now, what I will say is just bear in mind, guys, that once you've used a champion in one of the dungeons, you cannot use it in the other 2. So it gives you, obviously, it's a bit more difficult to beat 3 bosses without using the same champion twice. You can't just get that one overpowered team, put it in, it wipes all 3 bosses, full score, 100%, and job done. You do have to, a little bit like Clan War, you do have to have 3 different teams. Now, obviously, it's saying stag for this team. Now, I've got 2 stag damage dealers in there. I've got Sarah as my healer. And now, because of Penvade, it still has the same mechanics where it has a shield, but it does have a 21 count shield rather than the smaller ones you see in Penvade. So, obviously, you want champions that do multi-attacks, hence why stag and multi-attack perfect with Kay. Sorry, I forgot her name then. And Tristan, same again, stag with multi-attacks. And I think I'm going to use... I think I'm going to use Rossier, because once again, she has those multi-attacks. And then, as I say again, guys, you've got your quick settings there, but if you want to change them and have the more detailed settings, you can. So for me, it's going to be that, which basically will do the A3, and then the Vigor will be recharged by this. Rossier, same again. A3, A1, A3, A1. In fact, no, I think Rossier, I'm just going to keep it all A3 where possible. I'll just put her in the normal way of doing the settings. K, I don't want her to use her A3 heal all the time, to be fair, because Penvade's attacks aren't really that hard. So I'm just going to put her on normal settings again, with A1, A3. A3 first, A2 first, then A1. And K, it's just this. This or this. Both of them do multi-attacks. So she's great. If you've got her in Flame, I believe she does more on the multi-attack side. So obviously, and you don't have the AoE, which you're not going to need the AoE for Penvade. So that's going to be obviously better for you. Now I need to change detail settings. So all them for there, and just A2, 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 A2 where possible, but it will do A1 if needs to. So that's where we're going. If you, just to add on to that as well, if you set everyone to do all A3s, it doesn't mean they're going to do it. If you don't have the Vigor, they will obviously revert to the A1 or the A2. So you've just got to be careful of that. But let's give Penvade a run and see how we do. So here he comes with his big horns, big tusks horns, all beat up and bruised and cut. And once again, you've got your starting score over here, your 200 turns. And, what I would also recommend on this as well, guys, is don't worry too much about his tusks. Unless you maybe want to use K's AoE for the tusks. But I personally don't. I just attack the head. Because obviously the more damage you do up here, the better this score is. And you will have people like Rossier who do the additional attack under certain circumstances, what will do damage to these anyway. But yeah, so as you probably saw up here earlier, he had that big 21 shield. We've taken it down now. We're doing damage to him. And there you go. He puts it back up. And he's got his 21 shield again. But because of obviously the characters we've got, we can pretty quickly take these down. Although it does seem that he's taken out my K. Well, that's rather irritating. And he's now fixating on my Ross here. So, guys, obviously, some of these dungeons I'm doing for the first time. So maybe you might want to put Sarah's A3 on. Maybe see if that does help keep them alive a bit more. Or maybe swap out one of your damage dealers. Mainly I'd suggest Ross here for something that can put a bit of a shield or some sort of defense up for them. Or maybe even spread damage from Baldwin. But there you go, guys. Once again, we got a category C. So that goes into, once Sarah dies, that will go into our end of week score. And we've just got to finish. Come on, Sarah. And then finally, we have Talos, which Talos has no buff for you, but he has double buff for himself, which is when hit, attack gauge recharges by 5%. So as you can see, guys, he has these buffs as well. 100% independent chance to grant each ally Overlord favour for the rest of the battle, which is the target of this effect is immune to abnormal statuses, duration increases, and being stolen from. Oh, sorry, knocked it off. 100% independent chance to grant each ally attack gauge decrease immunity. So your Morgan won't work in here, and that's for the rest of the battle. And 100% independent chance to grant each ally dot immunity. So if I'm looking at this, is your Overlord's favour, the target immune to. So you can't use any abnormal statuses on them, duration increases, or steal from them. You can't decrease their attack gauge, and you can't put dots on them. Yeah, so you can't put dots on them. So this guy's no good. This guy's probably no good, but I've got my Jillian, so let's have a look who we've got free. And as you can see, you've got the little markers at the top here telling you who you've used and where you've used them. So I think I'm going to go with Bedivere for his extra attack. And the boss isn't any of these three, so we don't need to worry about that. Jillian for definite. Sergius, because you can still increase your attack gauge. And need a healer. Use Sarah, we've used Nika. No, we don't need a healer, we've got Jillian. Come on, soldier, wake up. Pedivire's good damage. I think I'm going to try putting Baldwin in for that A3. So then on this, I'm just going to use the quick settings, which is Bedivere A2, A1, Jillian A2, A1, Sergius A3, A2, and oh, sorry. I don't want detail sign. Yeah, A3, A1, and then Baldwin A3, A1. So let's give that a try. See how we go with that. Hopefully we'll get a bit better damage than we have on the other two. Like I say, guys, I haven't really put a lot of effort into, building these teams specifically for this. It is just for the sake of this video that I'm using them. Obviously, I'm going to start looking in the next week or two when I see, because I don't want to put a load of effort into building a team that's going to, or a character that's going to be no good next week. So I want to see how big the changes are each week to whether, it's worth building certain characters in certain ways. But yeah, let's give it a try. So you've got the big guy with the shield, same as the bosses from Forbidden Dungeon, but obviously just a redesign makes it look a lot cooler. Still 200 turns, still your head destroyed here, your enemy destroyed here to give you your score. And another good thing about this as well, you can actually speed it up to 4x rather than the usual 3x, which makes the fights a little bit quicker, which I'm assuming, obviously, if you're doing 4 of these dungeons, or 3 of these dungeons, sorry, it'd be nice for them to be a little bit quicker. But yeah, so as we're just battering away, now, what I'd probably say in this as well, which I should have changed myself, is I would probably say I'd rather have Bedivere in his Flame Relic, just for that A3 ignore defense. Because I think this boss is just all about damage. Once again, here you've got this mechanic getting down to do a certain amount of damage to him when he's got that mechanic running, or he'll bash you, basically, to put it in the Yorkshire terms. But you see here, the damage seems a little bit slower, but obviously I'm also staying alive, which, making the most of the 200 turns that I get. Now, obviously, if you've got every character maxed out to his fullest potential, you probably won't have to do that, but as I said, I'm still working on a lot within the game, so I've got to obviously work around it to the best of my abilities, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. But we don't seem to have had anything really worrying so far. The damage score's not fantastic, but we don't seem to be losing health rapidly or anything like that, so that's looking good. Right, so that's what I think it is. I think he gets a shield if you don't do enough damage to him by the time that mechanic's finished. So obviously you want to get that down, because the more damage you're doing to his shield, you're not doing to him, which is obviously affecting this and affecting how many times you can destroy him within your turn limit. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. But as you can see, guys, steady away damage. I don't think any of the other two I got anywhere near this remaining amount of turns survived. So that's looking good. I think the Baldwin spreading the damage may be a good idea for me at the moment. So yeah, as you can see, he's doing this mechanic again with his flashy red lights. And we didn't do enough damage to him, so then he'll get his shield. And that's a 20% shield. So it is a big difference, obviously. Maybe not having Baldwin and doing that extra damage so he doesn't get that shield. But, oh, there you go. So we took a big whack there, guys. So I'm assuming, as anyone would, that the further in you get to these remaining turns, the more damage the boss will do is damage will increase, making your survivability a lot harder. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Really whacking now. And then if he gets his shield now, which I'm no doubt he will do, because I'm assuming his health will increase as well, it's going to really get me and slow things down. And there you go, he got his shield again. So you definitely need to make sure you're doing that damage, as I said, guys, because that shield is not nice. But we've got 55,000 now. So we're still doing damage to him. And we're getting up there. We're staying alive. Looks like we might possibly get to the 200 count, but that's always famous last words, as the saying goes. So yeah, we have got a very survivable team, obviously. But maybe a little bit too survivable because we just haven't done enough damage. Either A, to stop the shields, or B, as an overall damage. Like I say, once I start doing it on my own, with not for content purposes, I will obviously test different things and see where improvements can be made. So I don't think, looking back now, you probably need the board win. So yeah, we got to the full 200 count. We got a C grade for 17 kills of the boss, and we did 824,096 damage. So once your 3 battles are then done, we go back to our main screen, and as you can see, you have a leaderboard here, which at the moment I'm in 107th place in my server. And once you open the leaderboard, it will tell you here, 108th now, it's just changed. So as you can see, guys, my damage, 824,000. The record's about 3.8 million, so I'm not far off that, to be fair. Not the record, sorry, the first places. 9 million here, which, as you can see, pretty much the same team I used, apart from me, has Ceres. In fact, most of the ones in the top have Ceres, apart from maybe this guy who's got a lot in there, but he seems to have got better scores elsewhere. And then 4 million here. So you don't have to really, win every single one. If you have a really bad turn on this, but 2 really good turns on these, you'll still finish high up on the leaderboard. And then every week, I'm assuming you'll get a reward for participation, and then the top X amount of players will get better rewards as well. Now, the rewards, from what I can see, are going to be, from looking at this as well, these new sorry, it's been a bit slow today. These new rudiments. So you maybe get 3 or 4 or 10 or whatever, and then once you've built them up, you can then buy a chivalry for your champion. I'm assuming there'll be random amounts based on where you finish, etc. If you win, if you finish in the top 10, you'll get maybe a chest with some extra ones in as a reward for where you place. But yeah, so that's the new content, guys, in forms of the dungeon. There's a lot to do, a lot to plan, a lot of teams to build. So it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like what we have been waiting for a while with King Arthur. Now, hopefully they will make it fun every week with different perks and different quirks, so that people aren't just using the same team week in, week out, but without making it that you have to rebuild all your champions every week just to compete. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Hope this video helps you and gives you some idea of what you'll be going to be facing. And if you did like the video, please do like and subscribe. As I said, I am quite new to content creation, slowly but surely learning new things every week as I make new videos. As I said earlier, I was having technical issues and equipment issues, which Susie Plays very kindly gave me advice on and helped me get to a better standard, and I hope to improve more and more. If you do have any comments, please do drop them in the comment box. I do check and reply to every comment I get. So thank you, guys, and peace out.